Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, who's laughing now? Kim K was live in New York this week, so how did she do? We'll tell you in the hot dish. Then, goodbye Bond. Well, this Bond. I'll give you my review of Daniel Craig's final turn as 007. And they are the moments you do not see on TV, the very best of the Jason Show before the show. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Sing it out every day. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Bellevue. Good morning, Hopkins. Good morning, La Crosse. Good morning, applause button that's not working. And good morning to you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Kendall has the day off. Please join me in welcoming my dear friend, you know her, you love her, the great Miss Shannon.
Good morning, Jason.
Good
Hello,
morning.
hello.
Now, usually, we would normally take a camera. There we go.
Oh, okay.
I think the system's shutting down, Shannon. I think the system is already shutting down.
Have we did we get ransomware and we don't know yet?
I don't know. It's either the Russians or we didn't pay the bill.
Okay.
Either one. How you
Probably
doing?
didn't pay the bill.
Probably didn't pay the bill.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm here. My child is successfully at school. It is always dicey in the morning.
Hey, say hi. There's your camera there. You haven't been on hosting.
Oh my gosh! Since the before time.
So
hello,
say hello
Seattle.
to our new friends in Washington.
Hello.
There we go.
They have a lovely, lovely comedy festival in Seattle that once things cool down a little bit, I do plan on trying to attend.
Yeah, because if you're new to us, Shannon is an award-winning, fantastic, legendary comedian.
Thank
so
you.
if you see her in your market, go see her, and you'll be in for a good time.
I have to also give you a giant shout out because we know that you are an amazing host, an amazing human being. But I have to give you a hello from a really good fan of yours. So my neighbor across the street, Antonio.
Hi, Antonio.
Antonio loves you, and so I want to say good morning to Antonio on your behalf.
Well, hello, Antonio. Hello. Thank you for watching.
He is a big fan. He knows everything about you.
Well, I love the name. I love a good name.
Yes.
So.
And he loves you in a non-creepy way. So that's why I'm shouting you out.
Because there's different levels.
Oh gosh,
you know?
yes. Absolutely.
There's creepy times 4.
Right.
You know, there's creepy times 2.
And there's appreciated. You're
appreciated.
appreciated by Antonio.
You know what I appreciate, Shannon? I appreciate the Emmy Awards.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, crew.
Yes.
Last weekend were the Midwest Emmy Awards. Mm-hmm. We were up for Best Fishing Show or something.
Right.
And for the 6th year in a row, we lost. We lost. Oh, I love it that now the applause button works. The applause button didn't work for Shannon.
No.
It didn't work for the top of the show. It's now Leo. Did Leo do that? Director Leo do that on purpose? It only started working when I said we lost the Emmy Award.
All I want to say though is
Again.
that I've been on this show for 6 years.
You've been on since the beginning.
I know how many Emmys we've been up for. In my head, we won them. So I don't know why you keep focusing on the fact that we did not. In my head, we've won each and every time.
I know.
You have to just speak truth to power.
I was out to dinner with Colin and hashtag Hot Trainer and his wife, Birdie, and I said, okay, guys, it should be coming soon. And then I got the text message from Jeff that said we lost again. We lost to, I don't know, I think we lost to like PBS's A Day in the Life of a Pilgrim or something. I said we're in the wrong category, and let's just be honest, but let me focus on the positive. Congratulations to everyone else that won, and when I say everyone else, I mean Boyd Huppert. He won everything.
Right.
He won. Boyd Huppert over there, we have a station here called Care 11. He won everything. He won, he won, best story with a guy named Pete. He won best fishing story. He won best basketball story.
But nobody else does what we do.
No, it is a hard thing.
Right. So they're like, we're comparing us to stuff that they're like, here was a 6-year anthology that they did about the pilgrims that live in La Crosse.
There is no category for whatever we do here.
Exactly.
We don't fit in a box.
No.
We do not. Boyd also won Best Sports Anchor. He won Best Weather Anchor. He won Best Nighttime Anchor.
Best Pasta Maker, all the stuff.
He won categories he just thought about entering.
I think we should just create our own like winning statues,
Well.
and then just put them up behind you.
We don't know. You know what? We don't need no stinking award made by somebody in Idaho. We don't need a fake gold. You know what our award is? You.
Yes.
You watching the show every day and liking it and telling your friends. That truly is the award. No,
You feel better?
I still would like to.
Do you
win
feel
one,
better?
But eventually, because I would like it right over there.
That
we,
was
we have
very
a we have a
convincing.
statue over there. I want to replace that one statue. I want to put an Emmy up there. You know, but we'll get to it. Or you know what I'll do? I'll steal one of Boyd Hoopert's.
Okay.
He has like 52 awards now.
Just call it borrow, and then just never return it.
Exactly. Okay, Leo, roll it. Let's get started. It's time for the hot dish, everybody. Let's do it. Boyd won Best Feature Story. He won Best Serious Story. He won everything.
Stop mini hating on Boyd.
I'm not
'cause now
mini
he's
hating.
gonna- now-
The guy wins 40,000
All I'm saying,
Emmys.
here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Most people didn't know who Boyd was till you just shouted him out.
No,
Stop.
everybody knows. He's a legend here, and rightfully so. SNL saw its ratings get a boost on Saturday, thanks in part to host Kim Kardashian West. There are a lot of opinions out there. I actually think anyway, I'll say mine for in a minute. Here is a clip from her stellar monologue. Look at this.
I've been very blessed in this life, and I'm grateful for everything, honestly. All the ups, all the downs. I mean, I married the best rapper of all time. Not only that, he's the richest black man in America, a talented, legit genius who gave me 4 incredible kids. So, when I divorced him, you have to know it came down to just one thing: his personality. I know that sounds mean, but people keep telling me that comedy comes from truth. And if there's one thing that I always strive to be, it's genuine. So I just want to say how incredibly excited I am to be up here on this stage tonight. I mean, I'm so used to having 360 million followers watching my every move. And I mean, how many people watch SNL? Like 10 million? So tonight is just a chill, intimate night for me.
Exactly. So several members of her family made cameos, as did Chris Rock, John Cena, Jesse Williams, and Chase Crawford. Next week's guest host is Rami Malek, who's the villain of the Bond movie, and I'll get to that a little bit later. To me, look, and if you watch the show, you know it's no secret I'm not always the biggest Kim K fan. Credit where credit's due. I'm going to lead with the positive. Shannon, she knocked it out of the park.
Agreed. I mean, for what they crafted the show appropriately for her.
Which
And
you have to do.
Exactly. So they didn't do things outside of her talent box. I thought it was fair. She was appropriately snarky. You know, she didn't take herself too seriously. I loved it.
She
for
did
her.
OJ
I loved it
jokes, for
her.
heaven's sake.
Exactly.
And
I
her
loved
dad
it for her.
defended OJ.
Exactly.
If you don't, the youngins out there that
They're
weren't
like,
alive
what?
in '94.
Yeah,
But she went after her mom's boyfriend, who
Yep.
allegedly is a gold digger.
Right.
She went after her sisters. I loved it.
If she had put them on a pedestal and
Yeah.
treated herself with too much reverence, it would have been no fun.
Well, even the skits were good.
Right.
I mean, she did a Bachelor spoof that was great. Here that is. She did this. She did a lottery spoof that I loved. Again, I would, if she tanked, I would have Joy coming up here telling you she tanked.
Right.
But she did a really good job. So
Right.
congratulations, Kim K. Next in the dish, the former host of Dancing with the Semi-Stars is opening up about his dramatic exit from the show. Tom Bergeron opened up about the firing on Bob Saget's podcast. They're good friends. He said he left, the show that he left was not the show he loved. He actually had an inkling that 2019 would in fact be his final season. So listen to this. When that season was over, he took everything he wanted out of his dressing room because he was like, I'm going to get fired.
Oh.
Tom, so here's the deal. Tom and ABC disagreed over some of the more political cast members like Sean Spicer. He said the show should be a respite from the exhausting political climate. We all agree with that. I don't care where you are on the spectrum. I am not watching Dancing with the Stars to see political figures. I'm just not.
No.
You know,
It's not entertaining at that
No,
point.
it's not.
No, these are not entertaining figures. And I know that sometimes we have a reality star that's on like a back channel that we didn't really know, but I agree with you I was like, this is clearly polarizing just to be polarizing.
Exactly.
I didn't like it.
Unnecessarily, and you're isolating the audience you need. I mean, that's because we need shows like that.
Right.
Like this. We steer far away from politics. I'll make the occasional comment, but we don't do it. You don't come to me for that. You don't watch Dancing with the Stars for that.
Plus, they picked somebody that you knew was going to be terrible. So why pick somebody that you know is going to be terrible and actually turn people off? It felt like it was reality television gaslighting, and so I was just like, you know what? I'm mad at the show as well for doing that.
I'm mad at ABC too because they got rid of a guy who is a maestro of live television.
Agreed.
And the good ones, I say this 50,000 times a year, the good ones make it look easy. Live television is not easy to do, especially when you're juggling all the things like Tom Bergeron does.
Yes.
And ABC got rid of him in place of somebody, I'm not throwing shade, but I'm just being brutally honest. They replaced Tom Bergeron with Tyra Banks, who instead of putting focus on the stars, shifts focus back to her.
In an inappropriate way. It's not an appropriate way that she does it. So she's distracting from the way that the show is.
Because you're not changing your wardrobe. You're not changing your wardrobe 5 times.
No.
For nothing. You're doing that to shift the focus back to you. It seems like an innocent thing.
But it's not.
But it is. I mean, you wouldn't be changing outfits if you didn't want the attention to refocus back on you.
Right. And I think it also is in them showcasing what skill sets people have.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Being able to host an event, do a live show, that's a skill set that people always downplay. And they think they can throw anybody in there. And then they go, okay, read this teleprompter. Oh, the teleprompter went down. Oh, something happened. And can you pivot and move and do all those things? And he was expert at it.
Yep.
And Tyra, who I loved until she was on this show.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I loved her until she was on the show, but now I go, oh, because she needs editing.
Yeah. Don't we all, right? Producer Ted, we'll be back right after this. Stay with us, my friends. We all need editing. More hot topics are heading your way in the hot dish. Next, TMZ will join us live with a scoop on whether we will ever see Mr. Clooney run for public office. Then, it is the latest docuseries I'm loving. Find out why HBO's The Way Down is my latest best thing ever. And shaken, not stirred. Did Daniel Craig save the best for last? My review of No Time to Die. That and more when we come back.
Court with a K, starring Judge Kourtney Kardashian.
Order in the Courtney. I'm good at this.
Watch as she puts her judginess to good use and tackles the most serious family issues.
Kim, Chloe, what's the problem?
Kim stole my makeup artist.
Oh my God, I needed him today.
You're in your Met Gala outfit. No one can even see your face. Oh, you're such a diva slore.
You're just jealous.
Fine, but the next time you need to use the restroom, I'm not helping you. Oh,
Wait, for real?
Okay, Kim, Kanye, what's the problem?
Hey fam, I'm suing Kim because people always coming after me about when I tweet, but hey, she hacked me.
What?
I said Kim hacked me.
Are you saying hacked?
Yeah, bro. Like, okay, does this even sound like me? Who's seen the play Wicked? I've seen it 4 times. That ain't me, fam.
The People's Court on SNL. It really was a good episode. You know, on Mondays, we get a special serving of hot dish all the way from Hollywood. Please give it up. Oh, look, it's a special appearance by the one and only Michael Babcock from TMZ. Hi, buddy.
Jason, I would have brought the cats if I knew I was coming out.
I know.
With you today.
Where's the damn cat, Michael?
I know. It's the worst thing about being back in the office, Jason. I miss him.
Yeah, if you missed it, guys, really quickly, I won't spend a lot. Michael has a delightful cat that had a cone on, and Michael had the cone be a sunflower, and it was my favorite moment of last season. It really, really was. But anyway. Okay. Why are the Beatles and Paul McCartney trending? What is Paul McCartney saying? I thought we knew everything about the Beatles.
I thought we did too. And you know what, Jason? In some ways, this is a story that Paul McCartney has told before. Whose fault is it that the Beatles broke up? Who was responsible for breaking up the most famous band that has ever existed? Well, Paul McCartney says that it was John Lennon. It was John Lennon's fault. He says that it was John Lennon's wish to leave the band one day. The band was all hanging out. Paul was there with with Ringo and George, and John walked in and said, "I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I am leaving the band." And Paul McCartney says that is how the band broke up. Now, people might remember, Jason, in 1970. Paul McCartney was the first person to publicly say that he was leaving the band. But the point I think that he wants to make very clear to people is that he might have been the first person to publicly say it. But again, John Lennon was the guy who made the decision to leave the band. So don't blame me.
Yeah.
This is Paul McCartney talking. Blame John Lennon.
I hope now we can put a period on the end of that sentence. The speculation hopefully is over.
I hope so, but I think probably not.
Okay, speaking of speculation, there have been rumors about George Clooney possibly running for office. Is he putting a period on the end of that question?
Yeah, a no with a period at the end, Jason. So I would say Paul McCartney sat down. George Clooney sat down with the BBC, and there have been rumors, there's been speculation, and we're talking about actors running these days, right, with Matthew McConaughey in Texas. So they asked him, straight up, would you be interested? Do you have any plans in the future to run for political office? And he said, no, just, flat out, not worth the stress. He said, the stress that presidents go through or politicians as a whole go through is extraordinary, and it's just not something that he's interested in. And then he went on to address Joe Biden's performance. Obviously, the president's approval rating underwater at this point. But George Clooney said he inherited a big mess from Donald Trump, and to allow Joe Biden some more time to, I guess, right the ship. So that was George Clooney's take on Biden's performance, and a big no for him running in the future. Well, and finally, talk about the yin and yang of stories. Chumlee from Pawn Stars has a new look. Yeah, look, this was incredible. So he was like 350 pounds 2 years ago. Chumlee was obviously from Pawn Stars, and he was having health problems, didn't feel good, no energy, and he would go on diets, but he would yo-yo. He would lose a good amount of weight, and then he would put it right back on. That wasn't healthy either in his mind. So he finally went in, got gastric bypass surgery, and dropped 160 pounds. So now Chumlee, who was 350 pounds, is now 190 pounds, looks like a different person, has thankfully changed his life too, is eating healthy, is exercising so he can maintain the weight loss this time. But just somebody who has had their whole life transformed as a result of losing 160 pounds. It's such a large amount of weight gone for Chumlee. It's basically another person. I mean, congratulations to him, man. Okay, Michael, give the best to the kitty for us, please. I'm going to tell him you said hi. Thanks for having me, Jason. Great to talk to you. Good to talk to you. Michael Babcock, everybody. For more of these stories, go to TMZ.com. 2 minutes ago, I said we don't do politics. What does Michael Babcock do? He whips out a poll. Don't email me. I didn't ask for that. No. I didn't. No. We don't do that. So don't email me, please. I don't want that on the show. No. But I like Michael. He didn't mean anything by it. But again, 2 minutes ago, Shannon, what did I say? We don't do politics on the show. From that. 2 minutes later, Michael's like, well, the latest YouGov CBS poll. No!
But let's talk about how good George Clooney looked in that interview, though.
George Clooney's looked good since The Facts of Life in the 80s.
But I was like, why'd he dress down for it? I'm like, but it looked good on him. I was like, I know.
It's not fair. Some people just, like he's actually gotten better looking as he ages, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. He is aged into handsome.
Yeah.
He was okay. Now I'm like, as you seasoned him.
Yeah.
He's getting well seasoned. Yeah. I like it.
And look at this. I am seasoned with Wesson, and I'm melting. Like I'm melting right before your eyes.
I looked at some pictures of you and I like 15 years ago. You look great.
Thank you.
You look great today.
You haven't aged a bit, so I don't know what you're talking about. We've known each other for decades.
Yes.
So next in the dish, we have another reboot to talk about. Let me just tell you right off in front. This is a great idea, okay? A popular show with a 70s twist is getting a 90s twist in a spinoff. Remember this one? Anyway, Netflix has given the green light to that 90s show. It will be a follow-up to that 70s show. It'll be set in Wisconsin in 1995. Kurtwood Smith and Deborah Jo Rupp will reprise their respective roles, and it's expected that Topher Grace, Laura and Ashton Kutcher will all make appearances. Y'all know how I feel about
I know.
About what's his name?
Poor Topher. Mm-hmm.
He cussed like 4 times on my radio show on purpose.
I know. He's a bit of a pill. But I do normally, if you had asked me 2 years ago if I wanted to see a 90s variety reboot, I would have said no.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was enough distance. Now, because last year felt like 10,
yeah.
Now I'm like, yes, let's look back to the 90s. Now it feels like there's enough of a transition that I want to remember, fondly about happened in the 90s.
Well, and the 90s are big for the kiddos. Like the youngins love the 90s. Mm-hmm. You and I mean, we were starting our careers in our 90s.
Correct.
I mean, so I get it. Mm-hmm. This is one of those. I always say if you're going to do a reboot, there better be a good reason.
Right.
This is a pretty good reason. It's a pretty good catalyst for it.
My sisters will like it. The 90s kid will like it. You and I were like in college, so I'm just like, okay.
Oh, no.
Right.
Yeah. Next in the dish, the breakout star of 2021, Olivia Rodrigo, was featured on CBS Sunday Morning yesterday. The 18-year-old. Can you believe she's only 18?
Right.
What were we doing at 18? I'm not going to tell you. Has made a name for herself thanks in part to her heartbreak song, including Driver's License. Take a look.
Got my driver's license last week, just like we always talked about. So like something like that.
Gives me chills. Did it give you chills the first time you did that?
I just remember writing it and feeling like it actually was like a page ripped out of my diary because it was so intimate and vulnerable.
Was there a part of you that thought, maybe I don't want to share that with the world?
I just think there was no other option for me. I had to write it. I had to write it for me. I had to get it out. I think you'd feel sick if you kept all of that in, but really at the core of it, I had to do it for myself.
How dark did it get for you?
I mean, I was very sad. I was a 17-year-old girl going through my first real heartbreak, but I think a lot of people also think, listening to my music, that I'm really a sad, depressed person, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. Definitely not at all, crying on my bedroom floor all the time. But yeah, it's fun to write about stuff like that, you know what I mean? If I was just writing about how, I was happy going and getting my iced latte every morning, nobody would listen to it. It wouldn't be interesting.
For all of her success, Olivia has remained, this is one of the great things about her, really grounded, and she credits her parents and her therapist for that. She brings up, it's one of my favorite little life lessons, and I heard it many, many years ago, because I know probably when you heard her say, I got my heart broken at 17 and it was really depressing. I heard someone say once, you never, ever, ever dismiss or discount when puppy love, when teenagers get a broken heart, because they feel love way stronger than we do as adults, because they don't have the life experience to know that other loves will come.
Right.
So their love is sometimes deeper and stronger initially than what we as jaded adults feel.
Right.
And it changed the way I no longer roll my eyes when I hear when teenagers are like, oh, I'm so brokenhearted. Don't discount that. It's real. It's real.
Plus, I think that there's still at that age this feeling that things can be forever.
Yeah.
They're still in that Disney mentality where you're going, okay, this will be something, and I can see this going into my future. And so, of course, it feels like, well, no, now everything's coming to a grinding halt. So I agree with you.
And we're jaded enough to know that everything ends.
Everything ends. Everything ends.
As I said in a couple episodes ago that my mother-in-law loved, we will all die alone.
Yep. I'm gonna eat alone. I'm gonna die alone.
I'm
gonna take my garbage out alone. I'm gonna do everything
with a chicken
alone.
finger in my hands, dipping in the dipping sauce. We're gonna take a break. We'll be back right after these words. Back in a moment, everyone. Uplifting.
When Gwen first started, I truly believed she really wanted to help people. She was so charismatic.
God revealed to me that the key to permanent weight control is a matter of the heart.
God's taken 86 pounds off of me.
I've lost 196 pounds.
It was just a massive media hit.
Thousands of churches all over the country would have the Way Down workshops.
From that point on, she began realizing there needs to be a new church.
Welcome back. It is the newest documentary series people are obsessed with, all about a woman who started a church based on a diet program. Welcome back. The Way Down follows the rise and fall of Gwen Shamblin, and I'm naming it my latest best thing ever for several reasons. Shamblin hit it big in the 80s by promoting a religious-based weight loss program, The Way Down. But when she founded a church in Tennessee based on that program, things, well, they took a turn. Look.
You talk to your kids about drugs and alcohol, but you never think to coach your kids on the cult.
Remnant Fellowship is now part of a murder investigation.
The child's death put the focus on how the Remnant Fellowship taught its members to discipline their children.
There's no telling what actually did go down, but I firmly believe that they did whatever Gwen told them to do.
Got a child that's going from bizarre down to in control. So praise God.
To me, the devil is a myth. But I've met Gwen Shamblin and she's real.
That line basically says it all. If you read the news, you know, how do I say this? You know how the story ends per se. It's actually how it begins. I won't say anything more than that. You know, I don't like to ruin things for people. Let me start with my bottom line, what I walked away with. I believe this is 3 or 4 episodes. More episodes are to come next year. They're continuing to follow the church. What I walked away with, Shannon, was an immense fear and a sickness in my stomach of how easily people can be brainwashed.
Right.
That was my takeaway, because there's several stories that you follow, all connected to the Remnant Church that Gwen started. Kind of a derivative of the Church of Christ, which I'll get to in a second. But anyway, you follow, maybe you will see the parents here in this clip, but you see these parents talk about their teenage daughter who wasn't initially in the church, the Remnant Church, but she met a boy that was deep in the church. And they basically lost her, Shannon. They basically lost their daughter to her boyfriend and the church. And I'm watching the grief on these parents' face, and I just thought, wow, one day they have their daughter in their house. I never like to use the word normal, but things are going normal. And then 3 weeks later, she becomes obsessed with, oh, that's him, that's the father. She becomes obsessed with the boyfriend, and the boyfriend basically brainwashes her to be in this church.
You know, I grew up in the church, and and I still consider myself a Christian, even though I am not as churchy as I was. But you do have this feeling of, you want to have this feeling of community. It's like family. You really do have this feeling of, I can trust them. And it's like any situation that sometimes you end up trusting people that you shouldn't, and it erodes you as a human being in little steps over the time. And unfortunately, that's what's happened in a lot of these scenarios. So I'm fascinated to watch this, because, it happens more often than you'd hope.
Well, and you also see, this puts it in stark language and stark visuals, the difference between a church and a cult.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is, because this isn't my opinion, and this isn't an anti-religious monologue. This is a holy crap, quite literally.
Right.
This is out here, and it is amazing how quickly you can be changed. And Gwen, as a figure, she is fascinating on multiple levels. I mean, with her church, again, it's a derivative sort of the Church of Christ, but she doesn't believe in the Holy Trinity. She has taken out the Holy Ghost, which made her controversial, obviously, within the church. If you're messing with the Holy Trinity, there's a situation right there. And then the weight loss part of it is a whole other layer. And then you heard the clip there about the boy that was disciplined. I won't even reveal that. Oh, I literally just got goosebumps. That's in, I think, the 2nd or 3rd episode. Heartbreaking.
Right.
I won't even tell you how that story ends. You gotta watch this. I think it's now the most successful docuseries in HBO Max's history, short history, but you guys, it's fascinating. The Way Down on HBO Max. And again, it's my latest best thing ever. Chrissy Teigen is one of the producers, lightly involved. And she teased, I'm not giving anything away, there are going to be more episodes.
Right.
At the very end of the believe the 4th episode, it says to be continued, because you see where the church is now, because something has happened while they were filming just this year. Something has happened that changes everything. So you get to the end of, I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna get to the end of episode 4 and go, oh, no,
Right.
what's happening now?
I love that about documentaries, because
Yes.
I talk to a lot of documentary filmmakers, and that happens so often because it's a story that goes over years sometimes. And so quite often, as they're filming, there's a turn or a pivot that happens. And the way that they go, well, now we have to extend it, or the story changes in the middle of it. Always fascinating.
It's
Always
so good.
fascinating.
So go find it. Again, it's The Way Down. You'll see the graphic, because you can't miss Gwen's hair.
Right.
First of all, that is an act of God right there. How is that? Seriously.
Defying gravity.
That is some wicked defying gravity hairdo right there. You can find it on HBO Max. My dear friends, my review of James Bond when we return. Back in a moment. Oh, and one of my favorite.
The world's moved on, Commander Bond.
You were 00.
2 years. So stay in your lane. You get in my way, I will put a bullet in your knee. The one that works.
I thought you two would get along.
Welcome back. Well, a year and a half after its original premiere date, gee, I wonder why, Daniel Craig's final turn as James Bond finally hit theaters this weekend. Welcome back to the show. No Time to Die earned $56 million in its first weekend here in the U.S. It did really, really, really well internationally. In this 25th Bond movie, James is recruited by the CIA to rescue a kidnapped scientist while facing a brand new foe. Look at this.
Oh my God. Target enough people.
Remember, people become the weapon.
Who is he?
James, you don't know what this is.
James Bond. Licensed to kill. In love with Madeline Swan. I could be speaking to my own reflection.
As you can see, Rami Malek right there. He is the villain in this. There's actually a couple villains, and that's. Let me start with the positive. I liked it. I liked it a lot. My feeling is that you should grade and rate Bond movies against other Bond movies from that era. So I'm going to judge this against other Daniel Craig era, which has been my favorite era. It is not as good as Casino Royale. It's not as good as Skyfall, but it is better than Spectre, which I did not enjoy. So that kind of gives you a perspective of where I am. My favorite aspects of it was the ending. I'm not going to say anything about it because I want you to see this. The ending, though it gave me all the feels, the ending was beyond appropriate, and I think a great way to end the Daniel Craig era, as sad as it is.
Okay.
I'll just say that. The other positive is the first couple Daniel Craig era Bond, I think, took themselves a little too seriously. They got rid a little bit of the kitsch that made Bond, like the extraordinary weapons and the little tools. Thankfully for this final outing, they brought some of that Bond kitsch back.
Right.
The fantastic cars with the weapons and the headlights and cool vehicles. Not as campy as the Pierce Brosnan years, but just enough that it made Bond fun. Because that's what Bond is a super spy's fun because of all the devices in the thing. Now the negatives, it's bloated. I walked into the theater at 4:30 and I left at 7:20, and that's not a joke, and I'm not, it's about 2:40, so plan accordingly. It does sag in the middle like most bloated movies, but the beginning and the finale almost make up for it, friends. My final critique is, like some Bond movies, it's just confusing. And I'm a dumb guy, but it is just confusing. Rami Malek is making a biochemical weapon, but what's it do? And who can it poison? And who's that? And who's that girl? Not Madonna, but who's that? It's a little dense.
Okay.
and then I felt dense. But that being said, I give it a solid B.
Do you think with this film, if they took, some films I'm like, if they took one storyline out, it would make the whole thing make sense?
Shannon.
Is that this kind of film where you're like, if you just somehow scalpeled this out, I'd be cool with it?
Once again, per usual, you're right.
Okay.
Yes, if you removed, you know how some superhero movies try to cram like 4 villains in?
Right.
Like, okay, we're gonna have Penguin and Catwoman and da-da-da and Two-Face. They needed to remove maybe 1 or 2 plot threads.
Gotcha.
Tighten it up a little bit. Tighten it up, and it would have been a perfect Bond movie.
Okay.
It's not bad. Again, B. I'll probably watch it again, which is a good sign for me. But Daniel Craig, he will go down without a doubt as one of the best Bonds.
I agree. I really liked most of the turns that they made with him because they took out, they kept the suave, but took out the problematic.
Yes.
And so I agree with you. I'm glad that this one will have more of the explosions and the fancy cars again, because that I missed.
It's fun.
I'm like, can't you make him less grabby, but still have all of the gadgets?
And I'll tell you, it was just, we got to go. It was nice to be back in a movie theater. I got to tell you, it was really, this movie, because you should see it on big screen, nobody was by me, no one annoyed me, there weren't talkers. And you know how I feel about that? Thank you. Thank you to the good people at the theater. It was glorious. So go see it, No Time to Die. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after these messages.
I felt the same way, like they took out all.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah, yeah.
The guys at the M House singing our theme song there. In a promo, again, if you missed it on Friday, congratulations to our creative service team. They basically won the Oscar of commercials for that, which featured Miss Shannon and Aaron eating food.
Yeah.
Eating
delicious food.
Delicious food at
Exactly.
Gray's, yeah. Well, it is the show that happens before our actual daily show. Every morning around 9, unless executive producer Jeff isn't here, the Jason Show team meets to go through that day's show. But things always seem to take a turn, and the meeting always turns into just a bunch of friends making fun of each other. So we decided a couple months ago, why are we not, we call this rolling, why are we not shooting this? So photographer Eric is now in our meeting every single day documenting the 5 of us making fun of each other. And now you get to see it because it's time for the very best of the Jason Show before the show.
I have no idea. I am like peak Minnesotan. Like, I can passive aggressive more than anyone. I should teach lessons. I should be on that, what's that app you have? Masterclass?
On how to be passive.
How to be passive aggressive like a Minnesotan.
How to be masterclass on passive aggressiveness. If someone asks you how you are, you go, I'm fine.
I'm fine. Or like when the food's terrible at a restaurant, it's okay. And then waiter's 5 feet away, this is the worst food. I am not leaving a tip. We're never coming back.
Where are you going?
I'm sitting next to you.
So you were not distracted?
The lady is better on this side.
Yeah, it is. Believe me, I look at this video that Jeff, and can I tell you, this is where Jeff shoots it's literally up my.
Dance, dance, dance to a happy break.
Is it sad that I just want to see her squat?
Dance, dance, dance to a happy break.
We're all going to...
Have you met us? Oh, they're finally done.
Oh my god. But like, how sad is your life if your fun fact is that you drink a gallon of water a day?
Well, what would my fun facts be? He works 10 hours a day. He goes home and goes to bed.
You can find Jeff weekday afternoons walking past abandoned stores in the Eden Prairie Center.
Counting how many stores are gone every day.
Wondering how he can get into Jason's
Oh, so that's not a
condo
joke?
building.
That's what he does?
No, he really does. Jeff
and every day.
No, but Jeff. He does it not every day.
No, I walk outside too. It's called exercise.
We'll start the meeting in just a second, but first, Leo is adjusting our wall of televisions. Oh,
He had grabbed a chair.
he's been standing up for so long. He now needs a chair to continue. Leo, was your back hurting?
The glare, and I needed to be lower so that the.
Come on, Dad.
This monitor needs to be adjusted, and I'm trying to tweak
Oh,
it so
God.
that we can watch.
Leo, they've been working on the TVs all morning.
I'm still gonna work on it.
Okay, that's fine. We'll handle the show.
Yeah.
Leo, we'll handle the show. You handle the TV wall.
I'll chime in.
Chime in whenever you feel it. Tap on Ted's shoulder right there and let us know when you want to chime in.
Adele. First time ever. British and American Vogue at the same time.
That's right, girl.
Hello.
Here I am.
And then Barbara's response.
Who she did the mistake.
Thank you.
I'm sorry if you're offended.
Yeah.
Come here. You can
Or in Drop Dead
You can see the menu on there. It's just really super dark.
Yeah.
You see it?
Is that wrong?
Yeah, it's with.
You know what? I don't know what sucks.
Timestamp. It's been 10 minutes since the meeting began, and Leo is still
Oh.
messing with the TV. Okay.
And then we'll go to a 3-shot. So I want you to be like, and then you'll come to a 3-shot and we'll guess.
Got it. And then.
I'm gonna take a 2-shot of Stephanie.
Yep.
During the sock.
And Kendall. We got to get a third chair up there.
No, what was Leo talking about?
Do we have a?
The show, finally.
Do we have a third chair still?
Yep.
sitting around somewhere?
Yep.
It's too easy, Leo.
Don't talk about me like I'm not here.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the menu and I can't see it.
Yeah, because you're looking at a black screen.
There's something in there. I can see it a little bit.
It's Carol Ann.
They're here.
Why don't you, Leo, did you turn it on?
It's on.
Remember the creepy old guy in Poltergeist?
Yeah. Could you imagine if the whole time Leo just needed to press the power button?
Have you tried turning it off and on?
Have you tried hitting it like Fonzie?
Okay,
Hey.
Aaron Stovall.
Oh, God. That's us every single day. See, Leo was laughing so hard at himself, he didn't even cue us right to come back. That is sincerely, if you, look, Shannon can tell you, she's known me since God was in diapers.
Right.
This is basically who I am. This is who you are, Kendall. But if you want to see the purest form of all of us, it's that meeting every single day. That's what it is. Yeah. Oh,
I
Leo.
think it's that if you really just pull back the curtain, then you go, well, how does anything get done? Where
No.
we're just squirrel, shiny thing. Here's
Yeah.
the thing, the TV's broken.
Oh, Director Leo. We'll be right back, everyone. Back in a moment. I'm going to go adjust the monitor, Leo. Welcome back, everyone. Still laughing. By the way, we just want everyone to know Director Leo has fixed the monitors.
Okay,
Just
all
FYI.
right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the world's shortest segment right there. It is our first look today at Timothée Chalamet as young Willy Wonka. Timothy shared this picture on his Instagram page yesterday saying, "The suspense is terrible. I hope it will last." Chalamet will be the third actor, as you guys know, to play Wonka after Gene Wilder and Johnny Depp. We'll have to wait a while, though, because it doesn't premiere until March of 2023. So why are they promoting it now, I ask?
Because they want the suspense to last.
It's not going to last that long. We'll be right back with the big surprise. What will it be? You'll find out when we find out next. Welcome back, everyone. Miss Shannon's here, filling in for Kendall. Okay, Shannon, this is your first time doing this.
Yes.
It is time for today's surprise. Goodbye.
All right.
Okay, today we're going to play a game of Would You Rather. Our producers created a series of questions for Shannon and I. Okay,
So I can look now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, Shannon, I'll start off. Would you rather have a permanent splinter under your big toe or have a permanent bad haircut?
Permanent bad haircut. I kind of already lived that.
No, you have great hair. I would do bad haircut too. I basically have that too. Okay, your turn.
Would you rather be chronically underdressed or chronically overdressed?
Overdressed. I would rather wear this to Wendy's.
Fair enough. I would
You?
rather wear this to the grocery store.
Okay. Would you rather speak to animals or know other people's thoughts?
Speak to animals. because I don't want to know what people are thinking about me.
I'm right there with you.
Exactly.
I don't want to know. Okay, give me one more quick.
Would you rather always have body odor and not know it, or always smell BO on everyone else?
Always smell BO on everyone else.
I'm gonna be stinky.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Stinky and Jason. Tomorrow on the show, we're joined by Colin and Brad from Whose Line Is It Anyway, talking about their show coming to the Fitzgerald. That's going to do it for us. If you're a kid watching that's being bullied, go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. We're out of here, Miss Shannon. Let's go. Bye, everybody.